Why overthinking your video content could be hurting your business.
Let's get into it.
Video Mavericks, the small business video marketing podcast. Presented by Workshop Media. With your hosts, Brett and Jeff, sharing a combined 40 years of video production and marketing experience. Take it away.
So small business owners often delay creating content. And why is that?
I think it could be a little bit of the fear of the unknown. It could be a fear of not being perfect or putting something out there and regretting it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of reasons, but suffice it to say that not doing something or delaying it is not going to move the needle for you. So that's what we're breaking down today. We're getting all into why perfection is not always the thing to be striving for.
Yeah, it's just one foot in front of the other. Progress is greater than perfection.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
You're an ultra runner, right? Isn't that kind of the mindset, right?
Yeah,
you got to
chip away at it.
Yeah, the mindset's to keep going. Yep. Don't think about that end thing way down there. Just make the next mile work.
Yep. One of the cool things about this world of video is that you keep iterating and you keep getting better. And you keep iterating and you keep getting better. Yep. And we're not suggesting that you go out without a plan, but we are suggesting that you don't need to aim for absolute 100% spotless perfection from the jump.
Right.
Set the goal differently. Maybe the goal is completion, and then go from there.
And you won't be able to get better without iteration, right? You won't be able to get better without kind of falling on your face. You know? And it's okay to take a swing at something and maybe don't put it out immediately. Take a swing at something and see how it feels. And we've talked about this before in other episodes too, like run it back through the mirror, look at yourself do it, record it, but don't post it, do some practice runs and give it a shot. But doing that alone is far better than getting all the way to the point and then being discouraged or something. And,
So what is that perfection trap? What are some of the things that we might, see and go, all right, that's what's happening to me.
I need better equipment.
Oh man,
I need a good camera.
I need a good camera. That's a great one.
Need a good camera to do video. You have to have a big fancy camera to do good work.
Yep. Or I'm not a writer. Or I've tried scripting that thing and I've done it 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 times and I'm just not feeling good about it.
Honing it and trying to make it better and better and better. Over the time that it takes you to do that, your mind is changing a little bit. You're like, well, maybe I go back and let's revisit draft 7. How
about I don't like the way I look on camera?
Unless you're, kind of into yourself, a bit of a narcissist, you're always going to feel that way.
Yeah. And
we all feel that way. And how many times do we deal with it, with our clients? Can you put
this lens on?
That you put the thin filter on. We hear that one a lot. We go, you're fine. You look great. You know, but that's just how we are. We're critical of ourselves, and that shouldn't keep us from what we need to do, which is to connect and engage with our customers online. So.
Yeah, and I would say challenge, what does it mean to feel ready to be the face of something? What does it mean to feel ready to put yourself out, in front of the world online, for example?
It's kind of funny.
I don't know what I don't know what it feels like to feel ready.
I don't think you do. I think it's a perspective, It's kind of funny because you will shake hands and chat with somebody that walks into your store, or you'll deal with your, however 10, 20, 50 employees every day. You'll interact on a daily basis, but when it comes to documenting yourself and putting yourself online, it's a different story for some reason, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah,
we're saying, you still need to lead the best foot forward. Do all the right preparation, but don't be so critical. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah, that's kind of you're starting to touch on that like authenticity thing that we talk about so frequently, and being authentic means being yourself, even if you're not 100% happy with it. There's an authenticity there.
Those imperfections are what make you, and they make us all authentically us.
Yeah.
It's just
So chasing after that perfection, what's the trade-off? If you're going for perfect, what are you leaving on the table? What are you losing?
At the highest level, potential revenue.
Yeah.
Let's say, you're a little more granular here, you're missing opportunities.
Yeah.
You're losing chances and you're wasting time by continually revisiting, going back to the drawing board or not doing it.
Yeah. And, I think one thing that I think would probably be pretty easy would be comparing yourself to others and then choosing to not do something because you don't feel like you've reached a mark, some arbitrary mark that you've identified based on something that you've seen online.
Yeah.
And while you're doing that, you are absolutely silent in the market. So you cannot outshine someone. You're not even giving your audience the opportunity to like you. You're not giving them the chance to find you more compelling or find you more trustworthy or have a better product or whatever that might be if you're not putting yourself out there. And so, comparing yourself to what you view as perfection, those people probably feel the same way that you feel. They probably feel like they're not ready either. They probably feel like, they shouldn't be on camera for whatever reason, but
they may be they one step further in the journey than you.
That's
but
right.
have the same hurdles. It sounds like we're saying maybe you need to like you a little more.
Oh man.
I mean, really though, if you feel a little bit more comfortable in your skin and understand that we all have these imperfections, none of us are perfect, but you still have a job to do.
Yeah.
And it's okay. So maybe like you a little more. Give yourself a little bit of grace here. It's okay because look, we wanted to do this podcast years ago. It took this long to want to do this ourselves. So it's just what it is.
Frankly, we've both done an immense amount of content where we do it and then we pick it apart and we go, I've never shown that to anyone. Or we record again. And then finally we just got to a point where it was like, okay, I feel like I've done the reps. I'm kind of done. I'm mentally tired of beating myself up.
Yep. And there's still content that we go, man, that one could have been a little bit better. That's okay because that's what we're supposed to do. But just don't be too hard. So we're saying shift the mindset.
Yep.
Shift the mindset. Let's reframe it. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. You need to compete out there. You need to build that awareness for you and your business. Just be clear and authentically you is what we're saying. Don't be perfect.
If you go through some of our other episodes, we sort of break down, I shouldn't even say sort of, we absolutely break down some of the different ways to approach content and, how to plan what you're going to say and how to practice those things and what it means to be on camera. The point is, if you go into things with a plan, that just eliminates one more element that you'll be stressed about. So if you're very confident in the story that you're telling and who you're speaking to and how you're going to speak to them, and the only variable left is for you to gain the confidence and be willing to be imperfect in your output, you're that much closer. So the prep work, I'm saying all that to say the prep work will help you when it comes to time to accept some imperfection because you will know that you're on solid ground up to that point.
Hopefully give you that confidence that you need, right?
Yeah.
You've done, like you mentioned a little bit ago, you've done the reps. Like you have a strategy, you did some practice runs, you've worked on liking yourself a little more, you've understood that you have imperfections. Now I've got the confidence to at least give it a run, give it a try, And so the imperfections are going to be, that authenticity is going to be what helps you build that trust. And that's something that, putting out a very polished piece may not give you.
If you're thinking about creating some content for yourself and just getting going, considering what the content might be. So maybe it's not a brand film. If you're not confident and you're not a video producer, maybe a brand film is a little bit of the deep end. But creating some content for platforms where genuine, authentic, sort of unpolished, rough around the edges content, if it fits in those places and people are accustomed to seeing it, and that's okay. And so that's that, people relating to people. Well, it's also platform based. So you can get away with a little bit more. I mean, think about the number of times you've watched videos with typos in them and they still have amassed
it's like all the time now.
Hundreds of thousands of views on these social platforms. They're not perfect.
Right.
They're not particularly polished, but that's what those platforms are okay with.
There's something to be said too about the standard having shifted a little bit.
Yeah, COVID did that to us.
What the norm is. And AI as well, right?
It changed what quality meant for that user-generated content, not for the brand, high end brand stuff, but for the user generated stuff, it certainly moved the mark a little bit.
What's acceptable is much different now.
Yeah, it is.
So, and the algorithms are going to reward consistency. So if you put out a lot more content, let's say FAQ videos or maybe behind the scenes content that shows how your operation is, and we get to know you a little more, know your staff a little more. If you're putting out little snackable bits, the algorithm is going to really is going to help. It's going to serve you well versus spending all your time in a dark room writing and crafting this great cinematic, the one perfect video. And if you do really put your time and energy into it and you put a bunch of money behind it, you can have that really great piece. But while doing that, you may have missed the opportunity. So what I'm getting at here is the algorithm on these social platforms is you really take these kind of quick bits, these imperfect, weekly posts or something, and it's going to serve you very well.
And you can strive for that perfection down the line after you get moving. So you can always come back, you do your FAQs and they turn out a little rough around the edges, they're done. And then when you are ready to step it up, either yourself or hiring a partner to do it, then do that. And that only elevates the brand more. But we're talking about just getting going and not holding yourself back. So.
Right.
So what are some ways that we might could get comfortable with that imperfect content and just getting it out there?
It's going to be figuring out what it is you're doing. Like, what is the purpose of doing the content?
Yep.
If you understand your business, what your mission is, who you serve, who purchases from your operation, like if you understand all of that, then you're good to go. You're good to make some videos. But what do you want out of the videos? So if you go, I'm going to push record and I'm just going to start doing my thing. I have to make video and I'm going to probably flounder. I'm going to go, I'm going to curse and throw the phone down and try again a little bit. But that's because I didn't start with a plan.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a solid message, then the sort of visual aesthetic is secondary. As long as your message is solid, you'll figure out the other stuff, but you have to start by knowing what you're saying and who you're saying it to.
Yep.
I mean, that seems pretty ridiculously basic, but you'd be surprised.
If you're not in this world, then in our video marketing world as a primary profession or even hobby, then it may not be as obvious.
Sure.
But when you say it out loud, you go like, yeah, okay. Like, it's always when somebody else says something, you go, yeah, it makes sense. Why didn't I think of that? Right? But if you don't know what you're after, then don't do it. It's gonna make it so much easier. So something else is if you're really feeling it, you're in a good way, get a handful of videos done.
Yes.
Batch film them so you're not chasing the schedule.
You're not chasing your mood either, or your staff's mood, or whatever the thing is. Take advantage of some inertia.
Yeah, if you're feeling really good and, like, hey, I should probably, you got a new, whatever, you got a new suit, you got a new shirt or something, you got your hair done yesterday, like whatever it is, take advantage of that. Or you had a meeting, so you got yourself squared away, you got some good sleep the night before.
Yep.
Utilize that momentum, 'cause it's going to help. So filming a handful of them at a time will also help you get some stuff out, and you'll feel really good.
Yeah.
I think that confidence we should definitely continue to state that, because it usually is about confidence.
It is. One of the things that can help there is, and this is maybe a little bit counterintuitive, but getting away from having perfectly scripted content and more into structured content. So
some bullet points or something.
The bullet points. If you're the messages that you're delivering and what you're saying to your audience should be things that you know about, that you're already an expert in. Mm-hmm. So trying to write every single word you'll get in your head. I mean, we've done that. You get in your head.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
Now you're trying to remember lines.
Yeah, it's a different thing if you're reading off of a teleprompter and you've been doing it for a really long time, or you're being coached by someone who knows how to get you through that. That's tough. And so if you just go, all right, here's where I'm headed with this. I know I want to start here. I need to get this message across. And then at the end, I want them to do this. Mm-hmm. Then you just be yourself. And, you might do 2 or 3 takes and they might be slightly different each, but one of them's going to feel better than the others. And you'll know that. And it'll relieve a little bit of stress for you not having to memorize lines.
So what's the bottom line here?
The bottom line is just get something done. Mm-hmm. Just get it done.
Yep.
Don't sweat the perfect.
Embrace the imperfections. feel good about yourself, good about the progress you've made, the success and the challenges you've overcome with your business. Feel good about these things.
Yep.
And then practice. You don't have to do a video and upload it right away.
Yep. Here's maybe a final takeaway. I think this is very useful. You can create a piece of content and not post it. Consider it 100% done. And instead of uploading it to the web and hoping, send it around to friends, family, colleagues, whatever it might be, whatever your sort of group that you trust to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Send it around.
Focus group
it and say.
But that's a good point though. You're honest people.
I need people to not go, I love it.
Don't send it to mom and go, absolutely great. Love you so much. You coming over for dinner? Yeah.
Mom's like, I don't like that shirt.
You needed somebody, whoever's going to, yeah, my mom would be. You should send it to the people that you know you're going to get true, honest feedback.
Yeah, and I think, if you're going to do that, it's also helpful to tell them what you're looking for. So watch this and tell me, do you think I come across as a professional?
Yeah,
tell me,
I feel this way. Am I wrong in thinking
is the
this?
business represented in this? This is what my goal is for this piece of, because they may watch it and go, oh, how awesome, you did a thing, but you might miss the mark entirely. I mean, we even do that when we send drafts out for review with our clients. Here's the draft. Here's what type of feedback we're looking for at this phase. Please pay close attention to these things. So I say all that to say, you take your phrase there, focus group it with friends and family and colleagues, and that can help to get your confidence up before you put things out online. So.
All right, so make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on YouTube. We're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We drop episodes weekly to help small business owners and business leaders use video marketing to grow and scale their operations.